Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flicks Show. My name is Chris Wong. I almost was going to do a tinfoil hat bit for this, but I think we should have more of a discussion, conversation about what transpired today. And as you know, woke up in the morning, Zack Snyder posted a nice picture on his Vero account, and it says you would also cry. So it's, you see it right there. That's Cyborg, his hands stretched out. What appears to be his father Silas there. That's the part where he dies, almost Dr. Manhattan style in Watchmen, as I guess he's trying to open the mother box. And someone released this from IG DCEU on Instagram, where it's some kind of concept art or something where the laser beam is trying to open the mother box. So we're just, it looks the same, that little contraption in there with that in that area, and we're just assuming Silas was in there and perished in a way. Maybe this is where he helps recover Superman or whatever, but we'll never know until we actually see the film. But little bits and pieces of this movie are slowly coming out once again. Zack Snyder slowly bringing this out once again. And the biggest questions, aside from what happened in this film, is why is he bringing this out again? Is he cognizant of our movement? Is he knowing what we're talking about on Twitter, talking about on Instagram and Vero, our questions or reactions to certain articles and stuff? Is he responding to this in a certain way? And yeah, this could be totally tinfoil, but I decided not to. Um, and a lot seems to be stemming. Like the most of this conversation is coming about the budget, right? About how much more it needs to be done, and the question that comes up a lot more within the fandom is how far along is this cut? Is it really done? And we know about John Aaron Garza's Real Anarchy post, article about how it may take about like another 40 million. He threw a number out there, and Clay Anos had also threw a number out there on Comic Book Debate saying it's going to take 20 or 30 million. I talked about this a little bit, and this whole thing about the residual pay for Nick McKinless, and how he didn't get paid and get credited as Ares. So there's also that aspect to the budget. So it's not just, probably not 40 million is probably not just the VFX, but also includes the actors and actresses, whoever that didn't get paid for their parts, and who never got credited for their parts. There could be those aspects as well, probably in other territories. But for some people who are more in the know, or they say they're more in the know, are saying that the most of the budget is in the heavy in the VFX, and so as me, who are not very smart at and very bright in terms of what VFX budgets cost and stuff, I'm just here just guessing, just looking in all the different movies and how much it takes to do this and that, and trying to figure out what's the deal with the Justice League Snyder Cut. So, and the conversation has actually been more of using Zack Snyder's post here as almost kind of a counterattacking or countering John Aaron Garza's article, meaning that he's posting this in order to say to us, to the fans, that his the VFX is more complete than it's stating in that article, where it says there's a tier, meaning maybe the VFX is so complete and so much more done that you can actually see a tier in that shot, if I'm reading that right, and also this new shot where you actually see a scene that we've never seen before. The armor looks great. Cyborg looks really finished. Like that is, and for a lot of people in the fandom, they're trying to imply that Zack Snyder is responding to that article, responding to the constant sayings that the VFX is not done. It needs 40 million, and maybe you can even throw in a tinfoil of Zack Snyder standing next to that pile of money, which is for Army of the Dead to any logical person. But with your tinfoil hat on, you can almost say maybe he's saying that I don't need that money. I have it right here, and it's ready to go. Or, he could just be talking about Army of the Dead, which is most likely. But that's what the fandom is talking about. So there's two sides. One is that says, well, it's not done. It's probably going to take $40 million, or we're throwing out 40 million, but it's just because it's an article. We don't really know how much it's going to take, but it's probably around that number in terms of what they're talking about. And there's this other side who says it's done, it's complete. And so they talk about the SnyderCon as well. And there are some different people who got to talk to Zack Snyder and things like that. I haven't heard from him when it's saying it's done or not. There is this. There are people who have talked to him, like Comic Movie Marks, who have verified that he said VFX incomplete. Don't know what percentage of incomplete. They didn't get that far. They just know that's incomplete. And we got or a fellow like Will Rowlands, who I am trying to figure out a day to interview. He was right next to me. He's right behind me, and he did ask, and Zack Snyder said it's done, it's ready, minor tweaks. So there's that as well. Other people who have reached out, who have also talked to him, said it's done, it's complete, things like that. And also this infamous, which is really the only recorded video we have him say, acknowledging that there is a cut, is this one.
I mean, all I'll tell you is that, it's done. It's done. I have a budget. So, it's not like, that's not too bad.
And to get from whatever we can get from that video, what apparently he's just trying to say, it's done. There is a cut. I have a bunch of them. Warner Brothers has one, I guess. And so that brings up the question of, well, what does he mean by it's done? And so on the other side, on the other side of the fandom, they're looking at it and saying, well, it's done in a way that it's put together, assembly line, like it's put together and it just needs the VFX, but the VFX is so, there's a lot of green screens and stuff like that. They need to plug that in. And Jay Oliva also confirmed this back in a tweet that VFX is not done. There's some previs and stuff like that, and that's where that was at. And so that's the people on this side. The other people on this side are still saying, even a few of them saying that it's done, it's mostly complete. Maybe the music's probably not put together with the scenes, and there's some minor tweaks. So it's at a standstill right now. And every little thing that Zack Snyder puts out gives a little hope on one side, and kind of, I'm not sure how it's affecting their side, but they're getting, both sides are excited. The fandom is excited in general in terms of this. I want to offer a little, maybe a theory on why the people on this side who says it's cut, it's done, it's ready, and while on this side, maybe they had some sources that could probably have seen this thing or had shown this thing. So let me just say this. Maybe the sources on this side, Warner Brothers side, like Zack Snyder says, there's many cuts. I have a bunch of them. I have a cut. I have a bunch of them. Warner Brothers has a bunch. The cut that Warner Brothers have it here, is the unfinished cut, the one that takes 40 million. There is another cut on this side at Cruel and, well, no, not Cruel and Unusual Films anymore, but they're Zack Snyder's camp. They have something on this side that is more complete. So the information we're getting with the incomplete VFX and stuff is coming from possibly a source on my left side. On this side, where the last known shown version of this movie was incomplete. They have no they are not in contact with this side of the camp, with the Zack Snyder side of the camp. Maybe this side of the camp, this version, which have not been seen by this side, is more complete. I'm just offering that. I don't know. You know, and it seems like the only really person 100% who would know for a fact if his cut is complete is if it's coming from Zack Snyder's mouth, coming from Zack Snyder himself. If he would to just, if he announces and says it's done, it's complete, but he's, you know, he's working on Army of the Dead right now, so that's all his energy and focus right now. But these little teasings, these little plugs of pictures and informations and posts is very intriguing, and actually it kind of just pushes us the movement along, and I think I like that. I like that he's pushing along and showing interest in, and continued interest in our movement, continued interest in getting his cut released. Like he said, it's up to Warner Brothers, this side of the camp. So that's what I want to offer. Wondering, so the side over here that says needs an incomplete, it's 40, 20, 30, 40 million. Maybe they're getting their information from this side, from Warner Brothers side. Somebody or some people at Warner Brothers or whoever, or the people who had worked on that cut for the last known version they've worked, let's say beta, Justice League beta, right? And or let's say Justice League Alpha. Okay, Alpha. But Zack Snyder has this side, is Justice League Beta. Where the Alpha and Zack Snyder has the beta version, which is more complete than this one. But because this side has not seen that, they cannot confirm or deny the existence of this more complete cut, because this side is all they know. So that's what I would just want to offer in terms of how finished is the Snyder Cut. How finished is the Justice League Snyder Cut? And I want to end it with this. For in my opinion, for me, just knowing that it exists at all makes me happy. Okay? I don't really care how much is done. I know it's probably 80 to 90% done, at least this side believes, or wherever you want to believe. It's mostly a complete film. It's mostly a complete film, and that gives me hope enough that they'll release it, because it's not like it's a fantasy movie. It's not like it's, I don't know, I'm going to pick on Star Wars for a second. It's not like it's Solo 2. People want Solo 2, and that is not even a concept. Right? Oh, it's a concept, but it's not even a story. This thing is mostly done, and that gives me hope enough that Warner Brothers will release it. And you know what? There's still some campaigns going on, guys, and one of them is this awesome poster that Ramesh De Silva and Release the Snyder Cut campaign is doing. They want you to print copies of this wanted posters. Place them where legally permitted. Please make sure to check if allowed before posting, though. And please take a photo of any posters you see and tweet them out with hashtag WantedRTSC every Friday, and we will pick some of our favorites. So this is kind of cool. They got a little awesome cowboy clip. I am going to try to print these out, and if I have time, maybe go to like a University of Hawaii or something where I can just stamp it on there and take a picture. I plan to do that. Please, hopefully before Friday. It's a short week, so it's going to be it's quite something. I like how we're continuously doing stuff. The other thing is the GoFundMe. The GoFundMe is in, oh my God, it's like in $17,000. and might change. You know how it changes, like it changes by the thousands every time I post a video about this. But Project Comic Con team has been doing some incredible stuff. Apparently, they've booked some things, some levels already, so it's ready to go. And they're working on more updates for this. More working on. I think they're maybe having some issues with the bus ads right now, but they are working on bus stop ads, but they are working on that as we speak. So great job to Will and Eric and everybody, Mick D, everybody, Alejandro, and everybody on that team, on Project Comic Con team. You guys are incredible folk, and I can't express how incredible you guys are doing. Stuff that I've seen you guys do. It's great stuff. And but 17,000, that's incredible. 17,000, half is going to the artistic creative integrity, the justice for the Snyder Cut, justice for the people who worked on Justice League, and the other half is the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention. We're making headlines here and there, and continue to grow. I see people like $3 Theater coming in. I see other blue check marks, verifieds coming in as well. So I think we're slowly kind of gaining traction, getting positive vibes for the movement, positive word out there that this is not just some movie. This is Snyder Cut is a symbol, and also for the suicide prevention. And yes, I mean, if the Snyder Cut does get announced or anything at San Diego Comic-Con, all this will definitely go to, and they're looking at that too. So all this will go to American Foundation of Suicide Prevention. So that's good. It's perfect. This is an incredible movement. I love it. Very proud to be here. And I hope you guys are proud too, and hope you guys are continuing to fight, and go past this conversation about if it's done or not. It exists, guys. It exists, and it's mostly complete, right? And so that in itself is should give you motivation that this is not some pipe dream. This is not some early concept. This is a movie that exists, and there is a cut. It's put together, and for fans, it'll be great to see. For just the movement, for people who believe in art, for people who want to get, and for any artists out there, right? Any people who have done such hard work on something, and just to be denied that should be rooting for this, because people who get denied that should be rooting for this, right? Have you ever had something that you've done, you worked so hard on, you're a chef or a painter or a person who made something, and just you want to display it to the world, and someone just slaps it out of your hand? How would you feel? How would you feel? This is what this Snyder Cut is about, right? Whether you're a blogger, you wrote an article, and some editor just slapped you away and says, I'm not going to release that. How would you feel? I don't think you'd feel that great. And so this is for all that. This movie symbolizes. If you win, if this gets released, that just says a lot. That just says that. And that just adds to their change narrative, right? They want to be director-driven studio. They want to be a platform for artists to represent their material. Then you got to show it. You got to release a Snyder Cut, because there is one artist that you denied, and in order for you to move on and to show that you're changing the narrative, you got to fix this one first, and maybe even fix David Ayer's one after. So anyway, that is it for tonight. I want to thank you so much for subscribing. I want to thank you so much for watching. And please continue supporting Release the Snyder Cut campaign. I feel like we're getting close. And I think Zack Snyder is pushing us ever so slightly. All right, guys. Thanks. Bye.